Take a look at the stressors sitting in front of you right now. The pile of unpaid bills, the chaotic morning commute, the job that leaves you completely drained. It is a tough pill to swallow, but every single one of those circumstances is something you specifically requested. You didn't ask for them consciously, of course. You fell into a psychological trap we can call the epidemic of don't want. As humans, we spend a massive amount of our daily mental energy obsessing over the exact conditions we are trying to avoid. If we visualize a thought like this one, we can see a mechanical blind spot in the way the universe processes it. The universe does not register negative modifiers or words of avoidance. It only registers the focal subject. So the "I don't want to be in" is completely stripped away. By focusing intensely on getting out of debt, the only instruction you are actually transmitting is the command to deliver more debt. The ancient Babylonians utilized this exact mechanical understanding of intention to build one of the wealthiest empires in history. These principles are ancient, woven into the foundation of successful civilizations long before the modern era. As long as we operate on a default setting of avoidance, we accidentally magnetize our own misery. To actually change reality, we have to flip the switch from avoiding what we fear to intentionally creating what we want. That mechanism of creation is called the law of attraction. It is an infallible rule of physics, operating exactly like the law of gravity. It never stops and it never makes a mistake. Think of yourself as a human transmission tower. Your thoughts aren't just silent dialogue trapped in your head. They emit a measurable magnetic frequency. And whatever frequency you broadcast, the physical world reflects back to you. The logistical problem here is that the average person has roughly 60,000 thoughts a day. It is entirely impossible to manually track the broadcast frequency of every passing idea. Looking at this frequency waveform, we can see a biological shortcut: our emotions. Our feelings act as a real-time diagnostic dashboard. When your mood shifts into joy or gratitude, you know instantly that your frequency is aligned with what you want. When you feel anger or anxiety, you are broadcasting a signal that attracts more of the same. Emotional regulation is the primary engineering requirement of manifestation. You cannot fake a frequency. If you feel bad, you are actively broadcasting a signal that sabotages your own progress. Putting this into practice requires a strict 3-step creative process. Step 1 is simply to ask. Imagine the universe as a vast catalog. You have to place a singular, hyper-specific order for what you want. And just like placing an order from a catalog, you only need to ask once. Repeatedly asking implies that you doubt the order was received, and that doubt instantly scrambles your signal. That brings us to step 2, believe. This requires the radical discipline of acting, speaking, and thinking as if your request has already been fulfilled in the present tense. This is where most people fall into a fatal trap. They try forcing the logistics of the outcome. The moment you try to figure out how a goal will be achieved, you emit a frequency of anxiety, severing your direct path to the goal. The how is strictly the domain of the universe. It will rearrange people, circumstances, and events for you. Your only engineering task is absolute unwavering faith in the what. The third and final step is to receive. You must tune your physical body to the frequency of your desire by feeling the joy at having it right now, before it physically arrives. This doesn't mean you simply wait passively. Physical movement is still required, but it takes the form of inspired action, the necessary bridge between your thought and your result. There is a clear distinction between the two. Forced action feels like a struggle, like trying to swim upstream against reality. Inspired action feels effortless. You act on instinct, flowing with the current, because the universe is doing the heavy lifting. When you align your emotions with joy and simply follow your intuitive nudges, you step onto a frictionless path. At that point, physical manifestation becomes inevitable. To accelerate this process, we can use specific operational shortcuts. Gratitude, for example, forces the mind off the frequency of lack by anchoring it to current abundance. The second tool is visualization. This is the intense, deliberate mental rehearsal of your end result, feeling the specific details of a goal as if you are experiencing them right now. The most prolific inventors in human history relied on this exact method to bring the invisible into reality. Men like Thomas Edison held clear, vivid pictures of their inventions in their minds long before physically building them. This trait spanned across disciplines, driving pioneers like Alexander Graham Bell to leverage the same focused imagination to shape the modern world. There is hard physiological science backing this up. When Olympic athletes mentally rehearse their events while hooked to biofeedback equipment, the exact same muscles fired in the exact same sequence as when they were running on the track. The human brain literally cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined event and real physical practice. Visualization isn't daydreaming. It is the literal drafting process where the architecture of your new reality is built. In nature, the grass doesn't strain to grow, and the sun doesn't work to shine. It is a system of zero effort. Because size is a human construct rather than a universal limit, manifesting a parking spot requires the exact same physical alignment as manifesting $1 million. The universe operates without hesitation. The only delay in your timeline is your own delay in reaching the frequency of absolute belief. Albert Einstein understood these mechanics deeply. By grasping that time is an illusion and expressing daily gratitude to the scientists before him, he mastered the physics of thought to reshape our entire understanding of the cosmos. A moment of wonder. You are not a victim of a random, chaotic world. You are the master architect of your own experience, and your capacity to build it is limited only by the thoughts you choose to hold right now.